Hi everyone, it's Natalie here, and I'm about to do our new moon reading for the 11th of April. And as I'm sitting here looking into the camera, there I am, hello. I just realized there's this funny thing happening here where like the nose picker guy on my teacup is like, what is this? What are you looking at here? Oh, I don't know. Maybe I'm the only one who thinks that's funny. It's very possibly the case. Anyway, I shall move on. Um, so I'm going to work with the Guardian of the Night guidebook tarot deck, and I pulled out the guidebook as well. I'm so in love with this deck. So it's MJ Cullinane. When I saw that she was putting it out there, I just couldn't resist it. It's absolutely exquisite in every possible way, and I love it so much. It does have like a slightly thinner cardstock, right? But it's the kind that I swear it will look identical, like it will look just like this in pretty much in 6 months. I mean, it'll show the usual wear and tear, like you'll see that this has been sliding against the other cards and stuff, but there's something to it. There's something to this type of cardstock because it does last. It does really hold up. So here's our Fool, which is kind of wonderful. This beautiful dog moving out onto thin ice, and the bunny, and yeah, what will happen? All sorts of things could ensue. So that is our significator, and I will be shuffling it back into the deck. The guidebook came signed, which I thought was so neat. And she tells a lot about her process of writing this deck, or coming up with the deck, and, how she created it. And she created it really during lockdown. And it sort of came out. It was quick. It was a fun process. So I do love it. So we're going to go ahead and shuffle. Okay, and this deck is a real talker. If you're someone who reads with jumpers, this is really a card for you, or a deck for you. The only thing is that it is quite wide, so I will say that. Let's see, this is a Vitruvian edition SKT, so just to give some idea. It's pretty significantly wider than a lot of tarot decks, but it does love to read by a jumps. Okay, so we'll do the 4 piles. And then I'm just going to see which pile our significator comes out in, just as a review. Wands, Cups, Swords, and Pentacles, or Yod, Hey, Vav, Hey, and corresponding elements, etc. Let's see what we get. So this is a reading for the new moon. As you can see, these cards are just exquisite, but alas, the Wands pile is not where we find our significator. Let us try with Cups. Look at that moon card. Okay. Oh, and of course they're just so beautiful. Okay. How about that? Okay, so we'll be getting more of the beautiful cards that we were starting to see here in the Cups pile. So finding our significator in the Cups pile is interesting because at the full moon, of course, we found our cards in the Swords pile, and we pulled we pulled all swords. So with the new moon, I always feel this relationship, between head and heart is a very, I just find it fascinating the way it plays out between these two suits. Let's put it that way. Right? So where things were at the full moon, we were dealing with, disturbances of the mind, probably related to the heart, that were emotional, and a need really here with our Ten of Swords to make choices, to verbalize or, gain control of the mind, gain control of ideas, etc. Right? Well, it would seem that something is, coming back down into the heart space. So we're embodying something differently, because when we get to the cups pile and we find our significator there, there's an ability to feel our feelings, feel our emotions. We're looking at relationships. We're looking at family. We're looking at emotions. The heart is what rules here. So when we make decisions, whatever comes up in the next, say, certainly month, right? I would like to say within the next month, right? So we're going to have several influences kind of, hanging over here, but certainly for the next month, at least the next week or two, we're going to be looking at things from the perspective of the heart. So solutions to problems are going to come from how we feel about them. As we examine a situation, what does it bring up? How does it feel to us? How does it resonate in the heart? How is it for you in your heart as you look at the way things are? You can answer any question. You can find those solutions. Of course, we always test them out in every other aspect, but really the solution will come from following the heart. Okay, and I've kind of just it's become a habit to go to the left. Sorry about all of the glare. We need to adapt something here for the glare. Okay, that did not help a huge amount, but alas, there we are, and I don't regret the sun. So okay, so we're going to go ahead and count out our cards. So we're going to start with our Fool, counting counterclockwise. It tends to be the way I like to go anyway. Sometimes I will go, if the Fool is most decidedly pointing to the right, I will go to the right. It's generally not the case, or it's not enough of a case to really worry about it. So we're going to go to the left, or counter anti-clockwise. So the Fool is it's an elemental card. It's worth a count of 3. So we start counting Fool, 1, 2, 3, and our first card is the 2 of Wands. How appropriate. Okay, 1, 2. Second card is the Sun. Let's see, the Sun would be planetary. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Is it planetary? Am I on crack today? Yeah. No. Yeah, it's planetary. For a minute there I thought, oh no, what if it's Leo? But it's not. Okay. So the Sun, that would be 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 is Temperance. Wow, big one. Okay, Temperance would be Sagittarius, Zodiac, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Wow. High Priestess. We're pulling all the big ones today, folks. High Priestess. I believe she's planetary. So, yeah, the Moon. Yeah. Is that right? Right. Well, she's worth 9, counts of 9. I'll think that one through later. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Oh my, 3 of Wands. Okay, that's great. And then we have 1, 2, 3, 6 of Swords. Oh, this is shaping up nicely. Okay, 6 of Swords. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. I thought, okay, if it doesn't end on Wands, it'll on the 3 of Wands, it'll probably end on 6 of Swords. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards. I like how that worked. Okay, so let's pull them out. We have the 2 of Wands, followed by the Sun, followed by Temperance, followed by High Priestess, and Three of Wands, and finally Six of Swords. Okay, so I've set this up so that we can see the cards from our full moon reading, right? So I feel like it's important sometimes just to have that visual reminder of what the evolution is so that we can really look at stuff and see it a little bit more clearly. We've been taking steps forward, right? We've been taking steps to get rid of whatever's literally haunting the mind by verbalizing it, articulating it, choosing to see things more clearly, let go of something, and move forward, make choices, right, that are decisive, which means giving certain things up and clearing space for there to be something new, right? So this Two of Wands tells me that over the last few weeks, we've started that journey and we're now looking at embarking, right? And obviously by the end of the reading here with this Three of Swords, we do take off. And we're moving to a better place with this Six of Swords. And I love that it's a Six of Swords that's taking us to the other shore, to a different place, through that process of having let go. I feel like this is going to tell us a lot about what we've been letting go of and how we're moving forward and with what we move forward. What was I going to say about swords? It's completely slipped my mind. But I love the way that it's marrying this, heart-mind quality together with intuition. I think that's definitely being highlighted here. Yeah, how exciting. So we have taken those steps. We are looking, as we start this new moon on the 11th of April, which will be today by the time I think everybody watches. We're looking at the horizon. We're scoping it out. We can see all of the possibilities ahead, and we're at peace with probably with the way things are going to move forward, right? So we're looking at how to bring this all to fruition, right, by the next full moon. So as we survey things, right, we have the Sun. Okay, so as we look at stuff, I think we're still bringing some things to light. We're still shining a light on things. We're still in a place of acceptance. But it's I love how the cat is on top of the Sun here. There is a feeling of being literally on top of things, of trust that the space below us, even though we're not on solid ground yet, there's a trust that it is underway, right? And I'm mixing that, I'm blending this, I'm blending that meaning a little bit from what I'm seeing, obviously, but also, we're looking at cats and moving to cats, right? And the Two of Wands feels like it might be on solid ground, but it kind of usually isn't in some ways. That this Sun is the light, the promise, the reassurance that we're on the right track. We're doing the right things. We've been making the right steps. The path is clear. The path is clear. We'll be able to put more solid ground beneath us moving forward. Now, part of the way in which we're going to do that is that we do have to dip into the emotions, right? We're in the cups pile, and here's Temperance, and here's our little froggy. Okay, this frogs are so magical. I love them so much. Little sip of tea there, little Earl Grey. We are going to have to dip into the heart space and into the emotions. And we're going to have to balance that with keeping our feet on the ground. So we're going to have to find the way forward, knowing that we're on the right path. It's, sometimes being on the right path doesn't mean that things are easy. It means that we have to it requires some balance. So I do feel like there's definitely introspect. As we look at the top of this spread here in the middle, we have the Temperance and we have the High Priestess. So there is an emphasis here for me anyway, it seems, based on, all of this, that there, we do need to spend some time weighing things up, looking at all angles, and then ultimately literally dipping our toes in. How does it feel? Test the water. How does it feel? Does it feel like it's the right time to dip our toes in and move forward yet? How, what do we get from dipping our toes in the water? Knowing too that while that's a little bit scary, there is more solid ground on its way, right? We're in the process of building it. We're not quite there yet. So, of course, we are still having to kind of cling to things a little bit as we figure it out. And we're also going to be dealing with whatever emotions are coming to the surface. Sometimes they sneak up on us, don't they? So as we're moving forward in our process and beginning new things, taking on new ideas, new responsibilities, there's all kinds of possibilities here and ways in which this could be playing out. But as that's taking place, it could be that a lot of emotions will just kind of well up out of nowhere, and before we realize it, they're present, And the solution here is to really understand, what are they telling us, right? What is it that we need to learn? Emotions don't talk to us through logic. Okay, they are from the other side of that veil. They come up from they're coming up in some ways really from the void. It's an emotional intelligence, the intelligence of and wisdom of the heart is not always verbal, and it's not always intellectualizable. How does it feel? What's the feeling tone of it? What is the intuitive tone of it? That may take a little while to articulate, but I feel like what we're being told here is that this is kind of a process, that as these things come up and bounce back and forth, we can trust our intuition to guide us about the balance that we seek, and about striking that balance between being grounded and between feeling our feelings and emotions, which is very important. Okay. Then we get to the place where we will instinctively know, right, with this high priestess here, when the time to move on is coming up, right? Suddenly it's like, we can now take action, right? And the taking up of action is, again, highly intuitive. Bye, Tom. Are you headed out? Okay. So yeah, it is, we will intuitively have that sense as well. Look, things are in balance. We can feel that we have an understanding of how we feel about where we're going. There is a grounded sense of reality here. There's an alchemical shift, right? It is ultimately an alchemical shift on some level. I feel like there may be some releasing as well. I don't know why I'm saying that. But moving forward, usually, when a bird is so bad, I'm like, well, when birds take off, they poop, right? Sorry to be so graphic. It's the truth, though. If you think about it, like, with the destroyer, the Ten of Swords, right? It's the third. I think it's the third decan of Gemini. We're looking at, having to let go of something in order to move forward. I feel like a lot of that work has been done. We've been doing that work. There's just a little bit left, right? We're going to shed something as we strike the balance. It's alchemical too. Think of it this way. In order for there to be an alchemical shift within us, no matter how big or small, sometimes they're almost not that noticeable until, retrospect. But as they're taking place, something is let go of, because, the process requires energy. Something is burned up, something is dissolved, released, etc. Right? So using the intuition, we will know from that place when it's like, okay, off we go. And the beautiful thing about it is that we're being given this beautiful reassurance that whatever direction we've chosen to head in is going to be taking us to a better place. We're on a safer journey. We're headed away from difficulty. The message is still coming from the swords, and the swords, which gave us the original message here, are the ones telling us, you can still think. But interestingly, it is a cups pile card. We're in the cups pile this week, and we have a watery swords card. Very, very watery swords card. So yeah, we can trust that this is good. Things are good. From a different level, from a more what am I thinking? From like the level of astrological Tibetan astrology, right? We're in the year of the metal ox. The metal ox is slow and plodding, right? Very slow, very plodding. And it takes its time. It does the work, but ultimately it's very steady and very stable. And it does kind of offer us this lovely stabilizing influence as we take some risks. I mean, honestly, this is big stuff. Out of our 6 cards, 3 of them are majors, right? But we have a trajectory of growth. Obviously, we start with a 2, we end with a 6, and we also go from the 2 of wands to the 3 of wands, which is fascinating, really fascinating. Similarly, we had, if you didn't watch the Tibetan Mo reading, I will put it in the description box below. But I did my first Tibetan Mo divination for everyone. I'm learning a lot about this. We have NEDA. So the syllables each have a meaning. Their combination gives us our, outer and inner meanings. So, this is a prosperity similar to the opening of a treasury of jewels. This one, there's a lot of information there, but suffice it to say, I feel very, very much. So for those of you who've seen both, I do feel like very much like there is a lot of parity between what came forth in the Mo and what we're finding here in the tarot. We're establishing, we're moving forward. It's auspicious. The tarot is giving us further detail about how that journey needs to take place. We can trust we're on the right path. We're at the point of surveying things. We can trust we're on the right path. We're finding balance while dealing with things and emotions that come up, dipping our toes deliberately, potentially into emotional waters to feel it out, and to feel out that balance. We're using heightened intuition here to be able to know when it's the right time to, balance things out again. Continuing that process, together until we intuitively feel and know that it's time to move forward with a plan, with something new, right? With some new part of our journey. We're starting a definite new part of the journey. And that's going to be a journey, our guides want us to know that that's going to take us out of the difficulty that we've been in. Take us out of a lot of that difficulty. There's so many things that could be described by these cards for all of us. So many things I can think of, but I'm curious about how it might, influence you personally. So if that's something that you feel like sharing or putting out there, of course, I'm always very happy to hear about it. And there we are. I wish all of you the most wonderful new moon, great prosperity, great peace, great resolution, calm, ease, gentleness as we move into this next cycle. Okay, everyone, see you again next week, if not sooner. Bye.